In the summer of 2002, a 15-year-old girl ran in fear to the South Carolina State Police Department. The girl who ran to the police station for help had handcuffs on her hands and ropes were hanging from her feet. The girl arriving at the station in this condition shocked the police officers. Let's examine this story in more detail. On June 22, 2002, Kara Robinson was at her friend Heather's house. The two friends planned to go to the lake together to sunbathe and swim. Before leaving the house, Heather needed to water the flowers in the yard, but she wanted to take a shower first. To avoid wasting time, Heather asked her friend to water the flowers and then went to take a shower. While Kara was watering the flowers, she noticed the same car passing in front of the house several times. After circling the area a few times, the car stopped in front of Heather's family's house, and the driver got out and began approaching Kara. The driver who got out of the car looked very proper, well-dressed, and like a wealthy man. This made Kara feel safe. The man who approached Kara asked whether her family was at home. Kara replied that the house did not belong to her, but to her friend. After this conversation, the man said that he was delivering magazines in the neighborhood and wanted to give them to one of the adults in the house. Kara said that only she and her friend were home. The man asked Kara to give the magazines to her friend's family when they returned and began approaching her to hand them over. At that moment, Kara felt that something was wrong. The man approached her very quickly and pressed a gun against her body, leaving Kara no time to react. The gun was so small that the man could easily hide it in his hand. Because of this, passers-by could not realize that the young girl was in danger. The man calmly told Kara to get into the car and said that if she screamed, he would shoot her. Kara had no other choice, so she had to do what the man said. Later, during the investigation, one eyewitness stated that from the outside, it looked like Kara had gotten into the car of her own free will. When they approached the car, the criminal ordered Kara to sit inside a large plastic container in the back seat. He threatened her again, saying that he would shoot her immediately if she called for help or made any noise. The young girl did everything the man said, and they left the area by car. Sitting inside the large plastic container, Kara was very scared. She did not know what to do, but she tried not to panic. She tried to memorize the turns the car made to understand approximately where they were going. After a 15-minute drive, the car stopped, and the criminal moved to the back seat. He tied Kara's legs with rope, handcuffed her hands, and gagged her mouth. During this stop, Kara realized that the car was parked on the side of the road. The criminal was acting very calmly and was not trying to hide anything he was doing. He had committed a crime in broad daylight and had gone unnoticed. Throughout the journey, Kara tried to come up with a plan to escape. As is usually the case in such situations, she thought the criminal would take her to a quiet and remote place. When the car stopped and the man opened the door, Kara heard the sounds of cars and people talking outside. At that moment, the girl realized that they had not left the city and that she might have a chance to escape. The criminal removed the container Kara was sitting in from the car. He dragged it across the asphalt and carried it into his house. Kara was preparing herself for the worst, but something unexpected happened. The man opened the lid of the container and removed the ropes he had tied her with. He left only the handcuffs and even helped the shocked Kara get out of the container. The criminal looked very calm and was not even afraid that the girl might escape. He did not even lock the front door. Kara realized that the crime was unfolding in a very strange way, and her hope of escape grew even stronger. The girl tried to act obedient so that the criminal would trust her. The man who kidnapped Kara allowed her to walk around the house with him. While examining the house, the girl tried to memorize as many details as possible and to find as much information as she could about the man. Kara saw a prescription written by a doctor inside the house and memorized the doctor's name. She even gathered the courage to ask questions about the criminal's life. Through the questions she asked, she learned that the man was a former soldier. Despite everything, the young girl noticed that the man communicated with her in a very polite and intelligent manner. In return, the criminal asked Kara many questions, and wrote her answers down in a notebook. He asked her whether she was a virgin and how much sexual experience she had. After this question, Kara realized that the criminal had not kidnapped her just to talk. She knew what he was going to do to her, but before that happened, she hoped to escape. Unfortunately, Kara did not have time. When the criminal finished asking questions, he took the girl to a room on the second floor. Kara was sexually assaulted there for several hours. Kara's main goal was to survive. That is why she calmly waited for everything that was happening to end. She tried to psychologically convince herself that this was a bad dream, that the body she was in was not her own, and that what was happening was not really happening to her. When the nightmare ended, the criminal turned on the television. He said they would watch the news together. "Did anyone miss you? Let's see," he said. Kara had only been missing for 8 hours. Naturally, no one had tried to look for her yet. There was no news about her on television. Continuing the psychological pressure, the criminal said, "You see, no one misses you." In addition, he told Kara that he could let her go if he wanted, but then her name would be ruined as a girl who had been sexually assaulted, and people would think bad things about her. Despite the psychological abuse, Kara continued to stay strong and continued to believe in the possibility of escape until the very end. After a while, the criminal said he needed to make a phone call. He put Kara back into the plastic container. He told her that because she had behaved well, he would not gag her mouth. At that moment, Kara began having a panic attack. The criminal said that as long as she stayed quiet, he would not close the lid of the container. Kara remained silent. When she heard the phone conversation, she realized that the criminal was talking to his wife. After the call, the criminal forced Kara to take drugs and also made her swallow sleeping pills. He handcuffed Kara's hands to the head of the bed and tied her legs with rope. Then the man lay down next to Kara on the bed and fell asleep. Kara continued to think about escaping, but due to the effects of the sleeping pills and drugs, she had no physical or mental strength left. Eventually, she also fell asleep. She realized that she woke up before the criminal. At that moment, Kara knew it was her only chance to escape. Somehow, using her teeth, she managed to detach the handcuffs from the bed. She freed her hands slightly and untied her legs from the rope. She quietly got out of bed, silently got dressed, and walked toward the front door. There were many objects around the front door, and the door itself was very heavy. Kara realized that when she opened the door, the noise could wake the criminal. She knew that she would not get a better chance than this to save her life. Kara tried to open the door as quietly as possible, and then ran out into the street barefoot. She was afraid that the awakened criminal would shoot her from the window, but that did not happen. Without looking back, she ran non-stop, trying to find help. Since the place she escaped from was a residential area, Kara soon encountered a father and his son. Seeing the girl in this condition, the father and son were shocked and immediately took Kara to the police station. At the station, Kara told the police her entire horrifying story. Before sending Kara to the hospital, the police asked her to show them the house where the criminal had kept her. When they arrived in the area, Kara could not remember exactly which house she had escaped from. After the 18-hour nightmare she had endured, she only remembered what the inside of the house looked like. She even knew that a red-haired woman lived there because she had seen red hair on a comb inside the house. Kara could not clearly remember the exterior appearance of the building from the outside. The reason for this was that she had not even looked back while escaping. Kara told the police all the information she had learned about the criminal, his car, and the house. Using this information, the police spoke with the housing complex manager of the area. The manager said that he knew exactly which house they were talking about. It was the house of Richard Mark Ebenitz. The police immediately headed toward the house. However, when they arrived, no one was home. Most likely, the criminal had quickly fled after realizing that Kara had escaped. Without wasting a second, the police obtained a search warrant to find clues to catch the suspect. During the search, the police found far more evidence than they had expected. In the corner of Richard's room, hidden under clothes, they found a large locked drawer. After breaking it open, the police discovered evidence proving that Richard Ebenitz was not just a criminal, but also a serial killer. Inside the drawer were records Richard had kept on many girls he had been stalking for a long time. These records contain the girls' names, ages, families, and details about their private lives. Richard had meticulously recorded the daily routines of his future victims, when they were home alone and when they boarded their school buses. Among the records, the police found a complete list of future victims and detailed plans of how the killer intended to abduct them. The worst part was that Richard's victims were not only in South Carolina, but also in Virginia, Texas, Florida, and other states. Richard's former job in the U.S. Navy required him to travel frequently, which helped him search for new victims in these cities. Among the other records found in the drawer, police also discovered newspaper clippings about 3 girls who had been abducted and murdered in Virginia. In 1996, 16-year-old Sophia Silva was abducted near a park. In 1997, Christian and her sister Katya Liske were abducted near their home, and their bodies were found near a river. Detectives had been searching for the killer for 5 years, but had not been able to find him. Now, all the evidence showed that Richard was responsible. DNA samples taken from Richard's house matched the DNA of the 3 murdered girls. This time, the police could not allow the serial killer to escape. Believing that Richard was likely trying to flee to another state, they immediately contacted the FBI. During the 3-day search conducted by the police and the FBI, they could not find a single clue about the suspect's whereabouts. Suddenly, Richard's sister called the police station. She said that her brother was in Florida. According to her statement, Richard had called her himself and confessed to his crimes. He wanted to meet her at a restaurant to talk. The police went to the restaurant in place of Richard's sister. Richard arrived and looked around. When he realized that the police were following him, he quickly got into his car and sped away. A chase began between the police and Richard. Officers managed to shoot and puncture the tires of Richard's car. Despite the damaged tires, Richard continued driving at high speed. At one point, due to the tires scraping the asphalt, the car began to catch fire, and Richard suddenly stopped the vehicle. Police cars quickly surrounded him. Officers ordered Richard to surrender, but he refused. Richard quickly pulled out his gun, put it in his mouth, and shot himself. Everyone was shocked. The police were left with many unanswered questions. They had hoped to solve many more murders committed by Richard. Further investigation revealed that during the murders, Richard had sent his family on vacations so that no one would be home. During Kara's abduction, Richard told his wife and mother that he had too much work and sent them to Disneyland. After learning the full truth, the Ivanitz family was devastated. Richard had never shown any signs of aggression. According to his wife, he was a calm and polite husband. He did not seem like a killer. Kara Robinson, who survived 18 hours in the home of a serial killer, managed to cope with the psychological trauma she experienced. She graduated from high school and trained to become a police officer. Kara is now married and has 2 children. She recently opened her own channel on TikTok. On her channel, Kara explains what to do in dangerous situations and how to protect yourself. She shares her story with the world because she wants her experience to save many more lives in the future. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like the videos, and leave a comment for more content like this. See you in the next video.